What are you looking forward to now that workouts start to begin? What are you looking forward to over the next few days from the aspect of the combine? Maybe when it comes down to the players, what are you looking forward to most?
To be honest, I've never really experienced this before.
Right.
And I think that this year is really cool that they've added this whole new aspect of the fans are going to be right there. I think that there's been fans before in the past, but they've had to be way up in the rafters kind of.
That's
fans
true.
are kind of allowed to be close and in the mix, and also they're blasting music. So I'm excited to kind of I can only imagine. I buckle under pressure. I'm not good at that stuff. I can only imagine how, it feels like they're kind of trying to create the atmosphere of what an NFL stadium would feel like. And so them just running these 40s and just feeling the vibe of all of these fans who are excited to watch these guys. I just think it's going to be a really cool energy in Lucas Oil, and I'm just kind of excited to watch them do their thing. And also just the craziest thing is walking around and being oh, this could be. We had this big meeting yesterday, and our leader, T-Man, was kind of just remember there's going to be a Hall of Famer on this field. Maybe two, maybe five. So it's just kind of really cool to walk around and be wow, you never know who is going to pop off and be so insanely famous. These guys' lives are just absolutely about to change. So that it just really adds to the exciting atmosphere, and it's cool. We saw a kid on a bird scooter yesterday, and we were like, "Get off there! You're a Hall of Famer! What are you doing?"
It is so
exciting.
funny. You were exactly right too, because it was so cold and sterilized and soundless when I was going through the process many years ago, and how the NFL has developed this, and they can put them in a position, because I guarantee you, the big reason why a lot of these kids play is because they love the competition, but they love to do it and entertain in front of fans. And when you have fans there, and you have music blaring, you have the idea of what game day kind of feels like, to compete at that can only generate, I think, better statistics for these young men and show them what they can do when the lights are on.
Or it's a sink or swim situation.
Yep.
They're already under so much pressure. I have to run the fastest I've ever run, or I have to lift the most weights that I've ever lifted, and do it really well. And then also you add the cameras on top of that, and then you add the fans in the stands, and then you add the music. It's just okay, this is pretty close to what you're going to get for the real deal. So who is going to make it and who isn't? Who can rise to this occasion and who can't? And I say that as somebody, Ryan, like I said, I am not good under pressure. I would absolutely buckle. I'd run to the locker room and be like, you know what, I'm not cut out for this.
What would be your
I'm
best?
Just in awe of these young guys.
Rachel, what would be your best combine event? We see the guys do the gauntlet, the 40, the broad jump, the high jump, all that fun stuff. What would be your A+ event?
That's a good question. I used to throw up at track and field. I don't know if you guys have that in America. Track and field in elementary school. I used to puke. I'd get so nervous for the race.
Wow.
But then I'd race and I'd crush it.
So you're
I'm calling Rich Eisen out right now. I know he usually runs the 40 at the combine. I think he might be doing it at the draft this year. I could totally leave Rich in the dust. I'm quick. I'm nimble, guys. I'm speedy.
Well, he's also very slow. I mean, he runs like a 6:05.
I wasn't going to say that. I was just going to prove it. I'm not just here to talk trash.
No, definitely talk trash. No,
definitely talk trash when you see it. Yeah, that's a big part about being in this business.
I can leave him in the dust.
Yeah.
I'm ready to prove it.
And I would argue that regardless of what you say around, when the bright lights are on, you're somebody who stands in front of bright lights and does commentary around things. So you don't fold under pressure. Let's just make that very clear. The idea that they're making this more of a fun event, do you think it's the reason behind it is because it's so stressful and so pressurized? Have you gotten that feeling just being around a little bit that there's some very serious serious nature to all this, because there's a ton of pressure and there's a ton of stress, but maybe the NFL's tried to alleviate that a little bit by making it feel like it's more game-like and more fun.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, all these guys are really young, and of course, there's these huge atmospheres in college football. It's not like this is their first rodeo, but it's really scary, and they're 20 years old or 21 or 19 or whatever the ages are, and it's this is the biggest day of their life. So for some guys, it might not get, any bigger than this. So it's just like, let's take it easy on these kids. This is a game after all. And so I think watching it and going into this as like purely like kind of just a fan, because I'm no Daniel Jeremiah. Okay, guys, I'm not crunching numbers over here, but just kind of walking into it as a fan, I'm like, this is really kind of fun to see. And like I said, you're watching these guys and you're like, just if I was on the field and thinking, okay, if I run fast right now, my life could absolutely change. Like, that's just so heavy. So I think that adding the music and adding the fans really just kind of creates a levity to the situation, and hopefully they'll be able to have fun with it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.